Okay, so we have a big breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Ukraine hit by war's largest area assault, 805 drone strike, 4 taken out, a gov building ablaze. The assault set the cabinet of minister building on fire. In the first confirmed strike on a Gov headquarters since the start of the war. Man. 805 drone. That's the biggest ever. They also hit a building, a very important building. They sending a message. So they hit American facility. I believe it was Western Ukraine. They also hit Europe facility, and now they're hitting the Gov building headquarters. Wow. All right, so we're gonna see what's going on here. Now everybody's still waiting for the U.S. president to do something, slap sanctions or do something, but he hasn't done anything yet. So what's next? What's next? So we're gonna see what's going on with this news here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also the description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. Thank you so much for the Cash App, guys. Thank you so much. I didn't get the cup of coffee with the Cash App. I got the cup of tea now. Drinking black tea with a little bit of honey, a little bit of lemon. Very, very sweet. I like it like that. And thank you so much for the Cash App coffee support. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's see what's going on here. So you have Russia launched its largest overnight strikes on Ukraine, sending 805 drones and 13 missiles across the country. Ukraine's Air Force says that Sunday, September 7. Now, we did talk about this last night. I went and posted a video 1:35 a.m. We did talk about this, but this is a very important update. Updates are very important. The assault has taken at least 4, including a woman and a young one in Kiev, has injured a dozen, has set the cabinet of minister building on fire in the first confirmed strike on a Gov headquarters since the start of the biblical war. Now, Ukraine's air defenses intercepted or disabled 751 target. Man, 751? Including 747 drone types and 4 Iskander cruise missiles, according to military. That is, I mean, they basically took out the entire drone, if you kind of think about it. But missiles and drones still hit 37 locations nationwide, igniting fires and destroying residential and administrative building. Very important building. It says here, in Kiev, I'm going to skip that name district, a 9-story facility block was partially destroyed between the 4th and the 8th floors, taking a 32-year-old woman and her young one. Officials said 44 others were injured. My condolences and prayers to the families and friends that lost their loved ones. Please send prayers to them and send prayers to the 44 others injured. Among them was a 24-year-old pregnant woman who delivered a premature young one shortly after the strike, and doctors were fighting for her life and that of her young one. State TV reported. Now, a 16-story high-rise, 2 more apartment blocks, cars, and warehouses also caught fire after being struck by the breeze. Now, the mayor said rescuers and medics worked through the night, and among the passing are a mother and her young one. This is the price of the bare terror, he said. Well, this is the price of war. This is what war is all about. I mean, it just catastrophic, nightmare, chaos, misery, distress. It just bad. Same thing is happening in Gaza. Same thing is happening in other regions. I mean, this is war. This is consequences of war. How come? How come we just can't get along and just say enough is enough? I mean, why is it so hard for us humans to just come together? Why is it so hard? It, yeah, give me a second here, guys. All right, truly apologize, guys. I had to open the pickup truck. My wife needs to get the fishing supply out of it. Okay, so debris also hit the Cabinet of Minister building in the, I'm gonna skip that name, district, setting the upper floors ablaze just before dawn. A Kia Post reporter heard the distinct whizzing of missiles overhead in the center of the capital, followed by a loud boom. Now, within several minutes, as the sun was rising, clouds of black smoke could be seen billowing up from the area of. I'm gonna skip these names here, guys. Not far from where Zelensky usually resides. All right, so I truly apologize, guys. I'm just gonna skip some of these like the cities and stuff like that, their names, and it's just really hard to pronounce those cities. It just really hard. All right, so once again, the Prime Minister Julia confirmed that the damage, calling it the first strike on a Gov building during the full-scale war. We will rebuild the buildings, but lives lost cannot be returned. The world must respond not only with words but with actions. We respond with action, it will respond back 10 times worse. Here's the thing. Zelensky needs to step down. His term was up May 19, 2024. He needs to step down. Ukraine needs new faces. Maybe new faces would change everything around and there could be some kind of end to these biblical war. As long as Zelensky remains in the spotlight and keep extending martial law, this will continue and there is no ending to it. As long as Z is still in the spotlight, Z term is up. Just imagine Joe still commander for third term, or Barack being commander for another a sixth term. I mean, it would be messed up. The world must respond not only with words but with actions. Ukraine needs more sanctions against the barrel oil and gas and more weapons to stop the. No, that's not the way. That's not the way. I don't think Solomon sent sanctions and stuff to the king of Lebanon. Read Second Samuel. Read Second Samuel. In the beginning, just read Second Samuel. It doesn't hurt to read Second Samuel. If you read it, you will understand it when it comes to bringing peace. Again, Samuel, not Samuel, but Solomon was king of Israel. Right after his dad, King David, passed away, King David gave the throne to Solomon. All right, so it says here, Crane's prime minister later showed the destruction inside the cabinet of ministers building for the first time since the start of the full-scale invasion. Now, the bear hit the cabinet of minister building where our entire team worked. Fortunately, no one was impacted. The fire has been extinguished. I thank the rescuers. The bear terror will not stop the gov work. We will continue. We will restore the damage, but Ukrainian lives cannot be restored. It's very sad. It is because this is what, you know, the consequences of war. In the festive district Kiev region, a private house and a stable were damaged. 7 horses were out. 7 horses. The strike extended far beyond the capital. In Odessa, 3 were injured as fire broke out in a high rise apartment block, a warehouse, and the city's sports palace. In Dnipro and Kryvyi Rih, 4 were injured when missiles and drones damaged infrastructure, businesses, and homes. The scale of the strike highlights the bare growing reliance on drones in its air campaign. Ukrainian officials have warned that Moscow is attempting to overwhelm air defenses while striking both symbolic and civilian targets. Ukraine has repeatedly appealed to Western partners for additional air defense systems, particularly more US made Patriot batteries, as well as long range weapons to strike Russian launch sites. The strike came after several heavy Russian strikes in recent days. On August 28, missiles and drones hit Kiev, taking 25, including 4 young ones, and damaging civilian residential and diplomatic buildings. On August 30th, the bear struck Zaporizhia, Dnipro, and Pavlovran, leaving 1 gone and 24 injured. On August 31st, drone hit power facilities in Chernomorsk, Odessa region, cutting electricity for nearly 30,000. On September 3rd, the bear launched a Crane 526 aerial targets, including 502 drones, 16 Caleb cruise missiles from the Black Sea, and 8 KH-101 cruise missiles from strategic bombers. An explosion were reported in the, I'm going to skip those names there, guys, multiple regions, and including the capital. Ladies and gentlemen, this here was the biggest ever. Crane hit by war's largest aerial assault, 805. That's the biggest. Give me a second here. I want to pull up this information too. The bear launches largest strike of Crane conflict. I believe Poland also got involved when it comes to their region down here. This is Poland. All this is Poland. They send their aircraft to make sure their airspace is secure, because believe it or not, sometimes the Russian drones, sometimes it lands in Poland, and Poland has been sounding the alarm that you got all these objects falling from the sky into their territory. Now, I mean, look at this map here. I mean, that is some crazy stuff there. That is some crazy stuff. And then, you know, you have to ask yourself, where's Trump at? It says here, a Russian strike against Crane overnight using a reported 805 drones and 3 missiles was the largest so far in this war. 2 were out. Well, I think there was more now. Now, the strike hit primarily industrial plants, critical infrastructure, and undisclosed targets in Kiev and other regions, including the capital. So you have multiple cities here. I mean, you got the capital, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and many, many more. I mean, it was just total chaos early in the morning. I think it started around 3 a.m. And boy, oh boy, they dropped the hammer. They really dropped the hammer. The question is, what's next? What's next? Now, Ukraine is saying we need more weapons and we need sanctions. We need to stop the bear. So that's why they're hitting the Bear oil facility, Russian oil facility. I mean, they're getting hit. They're getting hit. Those oil facilities getting hit. And the reason why they're doing that is because Russia is using the profits, the money profits from what they sell from their oil. They're using the profits money to continue the war. This is why the US president is telling Europe, stop buying their oil. Stop buying their stuff. You keep buying oil from them, they're going to take that money profit and continue their war operation. Stop buying their oil. He also slapped sanctions or tariffs on India because India is one of the biggest country out there that buys a whole bunch of Russian oil. So he's really slapping sanctions on countries that is purchasing oil from Russia. So Russia continued the operation because of basically oil. All right, so this is where we at right now, guys. I would keep you updated with this news. Nation against nation is building up in these end times. But one thing I tell you, I think it's time for Z to step down. The dude turn was up. He need to go. The dude needs to go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time later. Peace.